Good evening, and welcome to True Goatman Encounters. I'm your host, Marvin Allen. If you or anyone you've known has had a sighting and would like for me to share it with me on my channel, please contact me at True Encounters. I would love to hear from you. We almost there. We almost at our milestone. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go and click the button below. I miss y'all so much, but been having a few problems. Nothing I can't get over. Still trying to work it out on my computer, trying to upload, but I had these encounters and I just wanted to put them out so I can give y'all something to listen to. I got to interview a few people and get these encounters for y'all, and it's real interesting. I had read a comment earlier, on Facebook, and the guy said that Dark Waters was getting ready to interview a guy who just had a sighting. Not knowing, I already interviewed him when it happened. So I got all his encounters, and I'm going to share them with y'all today. But this first encounter I'm going to get into in a few minutes. It's going to be a Goatman encounter. And it's not real long, but I'm going to just do that one first, so I can get that out the way and I can get into the rest of them. Like I said, man, I miss y'all so much. Miss sharing these encounters, man. I miss talking to y'all. It just hurt me a lot when I can't, be able to provide y'all with these encounters that I got. And like I said, I'm working. I'm mostly, like I said, I do this by myself, not really with no help, but I think for me to be able to do these things by myself, and I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, I think that means a lot, and I'm proud of myself, for reaching, almost reaching that milestone. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into this first encounter. Now, in this first encounter, this encounter right here, it comes out of Maryland. Just a little bit before I get into it, because this is what I started doing in the beginning, just to give y'all a little bit about it. This encounter right here I'm going to tell y'all about. It's about two guys, they was out walking when they encountered this creature. But that's all I'm going to give y'all. So, again, without further ado, let's jump right into this encounter. Now, like I said, this encounter happened in Maryland. And Steve and his friend had just came from a party. And Steve said that usually they would always walk through this corn maze, just to get to the other side to get back to their car. So Steve said him and his friend had started walking this corn maze, until it reached the end. And once it reached the end, that's when it started going into the cornfields, and then they got the rows of corn going down. So Steve said they was walking, and during this time, it was at nighttime. And he said while they was walking, they had a flashlight. While they was walking, Steve kept hearing something a couple of rows over. Like it was something, pacing them, like it was something following them. And he had asked his friend, he was like, "Do you hear that?" He's like, no, I don't hear nothing. So he said, stop. So they stopped. When they both stopped, nothing. Didn't hear nothing. So they continued to walk again. So as they walking, Steve hear the sounds again. And when he hear it again, this time it sounds like it's following them. And he said whatever it was following them was walking just like them. It was walking upright. So Steve tells his friend, he said, come on, let's pick up the pace. So they said they started walking fast. So as they was walking, Steve was behind, his friend was up front. His friend had kept picking up his pace walking. Steve had dropped his flashlight. And when he dropped his flashlight, he told his friend, he said, hold up, wait for me. He said, I gotta get my flashlight. He said when he bent down to grab his flashlight was turned on his side, facing to the right of him on the rows of the cornfield. He said when he got bent down to pick it up, he said that's when he saw what he said, and these are his words. He said what looked it like something standing up bipedal on hoofs. So he shined his light over there. He said when he shined his light over there and he saw those hoofs, he said he could hear this thing, whatever it was, on the other side of the rows of the cornfield. He said this thing started to sniff the air. He said that when it sniffed the air, it started to walk again. It started to walk forward, like it's walking in the same direction as them. Steve grabs his flashlight, gets it, he hurry ups and run down there with his friend. Get down there to his friend. He said, man, come on. I don't know what the hell that is in the field. His friend kept trying to tell him that maybe it's one of the workers or something. Steve said, man, that ain't no worker. That whatever that thing was, it had hoofs for legs and feet. So they ran. And while they was running, it's a house that sits over to the left. Must have been the people who owned the property and stuff. And while they was running, they seen a light come on in the house. And when the light came on in the house, they stopped. And when they stopped, they could just see a shadow walk past the light in the house, and then the light went off again. That's when they started walking fast again. Said while they was walking fast, he said that's when this creature comes in the same row that they was in and started chasing them. So they running to get to the other side and to get to the beginning of this cornfield, then cross the road so they can get to their car. So while they running, they say this thing was running after them. So I'm asking them, I'm like, what did this thing look like? He said, this thing, it looked like a human Goatman. Said that's what it said. He said this thing had the horns. He said it had gray fur, whatever you want to call it, what a goat got. Said it looked like gray fur. He said, and it looked nappy. He said, but while they was running and they get to the beginning of the cornfield, right there where it started, they leaves out, cross on the other side of the road to where their car was at. And when they got there, that's when they turns around and they see this creature standing right there at the beginning of this cornfield. And it's looking at them with them piercing red eyes. Said this thing had long arms, looked like a human, and had the hands just like a human, but it had goat legs. He said the legs was just like a goat, with hoofs. He said this thing did have horns, but it didn't have a long snout. It had like a, it said it had like a human face to it from what they saw. He said, so they got in their car and they just pulled off, you know, and they just left, you know. So that was the Goatman sighting. I'm gonna go ahead and upload this and get ready to get into these other encounters that I got, because I think one of them is kind of long. So again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go and do so. And I'll see you on the next True Encounters.